We've got some people that asked us about this specific topic, and I think it's a great topic. Sometimes people don't really know where to go in life or what to do or how to craft a vision or a plan for yourself in life. So that's what this topic is about for this podcast, how to craft a vision or a plan for yourself in life. So one of the things I'll say on this is what we learn in school, if you do the normal, go to school, go to college, all that kind of stuff, is we're kind of being like trickled into being forced into some kind of box. With it depends on the family you grew up with, every type of family. If you're Asian and your Indian, your parents always say engineer, doctor, pharmacist. They kind of push you in those routes. Why? Because they think a doctor makes a lot of money, an engineer makes a lot of money, a lawyer makes a lot of money. Specifically those, you see a lot of STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. You see a lot of Asians go down that route because their parents push them down that route when you're younger. And it goes with wherever your family has a background. If your family has a background in successful law offices or things like that, then you might get pushed in those directions. I personally did not. For my college career and all that, I wanted to be in investment and money management, and I wanted to run a hedge fund, and that's what I thought I really wanted to do, all up until graduating from college, all the way till I graduated senior year with the economics degree is what I wanted to do, was money management. First, it was a doctor when I was a little bit younger because that's what my mom wanted me to do. And I said, that doesn't excite me. Biology doesn't excite me. I'm bad at it. I got a freaking D in it. That's not. But, money excited me, economics excited me, business classes excited me. Those things excited me. So I thought, you know what, let me go down this route and do this money management hedge fund type of thing. So that's how I first geared my life. And then when I came out of college, something a mentor said to me, it really stuck with me. And it was this. It was, fine. And this was through network marketing as well. I will give a big hats off to network marketing, because network marketing shows you and shows people, sometimes it shows flashy lives or people being super successful. But what I was attracted through, what I saw with network marketing at that time, was it offered time freedom. And it showed you how to design your life by the way that you want to live day by day, not saying design your life by what it is that you do. Most people design their life and say, oh, I am a lawyer. That's what I do day by day. Now, I don't say that I am a solar, sales representative, or I own a solar business. That's not who I am. I'm someone who likes to crack a lot of jokes, have a lot of fun, hang out. I like to, skateboard. I like to do different things. I don't define myself by the job that it is that I do. So I quickly learned that, and I found out that I wanted to find out how I wanted to live. What time do I want to wake up? Okay. What time do I want to go to bed? What time, what kind of day-to-day freedom do I want with my wife, with my future kids, with my family? What kind of freedom do I want? And let me find the right vehicle, whatever job or business it may be, that let that vehicle support the way that I want to live. Not let me rearrange my whole life and chase after the vehicle itself. So I learned that from a mentor, and it changed the way, and that's what helped me design my life plan or vision. And it impacted me a lot. And you and I had many conversations throughout me, in this journey learning, and I would trickle some of that knowledge your way every time I could, because that's how I kind of felt about things. But I'm going to pass it to you.
No, it's great. I think also, like having a vision and mapping things out and planning is super important. A lot of people will just work, and that's good, and you can become quote unquote successful. But you might get so far down a road of success, of what someone would deem success, and then you might not be happy because you never thought about what it is that you actually want to do in life and how you want your life to be. So I think having a roadmap of what exactly it is that you want is super important, because no two people want exactly the same things. And then also with getting married and stuff, you want to also plan with your family.
It's true.
Make sure your visions are aligned together, not just for money, but for how many children do you want to have children? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? Is it more important that maybe both people work and you have more money? Or, is having like people home with children important? Do you want to live in one spot? Do you want to live near family? Like having all those things planned out, you have to plan what it is that you want before you can create what it is that you want. You have to measure twice, cut once. When you're sailing a boat, it can end up anywhere if you don't pick the destination properly. So it's like going through life without a plan and a vision is like just getting in a boat and just figuring it out and just going whoop and just ending up somewhere you don't know where you're going to be. That's how people live their life. So I think Think and Grow Rich really changed my opinion on that. Reading that book, reading a couple different times, because it talks about organized planning and like figuring out exactly what it is that you want and having that one true desire. So for me, I didn't went out of college, started working in sales. Previous episode 10, I really had to make money like immediately. So was very pressed to get into a less risky situation, had to get capital immediately. So, and then, you get in a better situation. So a couple of years, probably 3 years went by, and I didn't really have a full blueprint of what I wanted to do. And you wake up and boom, you're almost 26 years old. And I was like, I thought I wanted to be a CEO of a software company one day. But then I realized, as I got more higher up in an executive role at a software company, that they don't really make any decisions. You have to go to a board, which represents people that own the company, and they're just a really highly paid employee. They don't really have this bossed up time freedom that I thought that they would. Yeah. They're making great money, but they're getting taxed really aggressively. They're listed as W-2. So for me, what I wanted was being able to, for what I make, to take the most. Didn't want to have to give a bunch of money to a bunch of random people that don't work or whatever the hell it is that the government does with our money. Obviously, I pay my taxes, but I want to set things up in such a way that I was neutralizing the tax burden as much as possible. And then on top of that, I wanted to have a kind of a traditional type of life where family was close. My wife could work if she wanted to, but didn't have to work. And I wanted to have the freedom to work wherever I wanted to be able to use technology. And then also to eventually get to a point where right now, 31, by 40 personally, I don't really want to have active income from a B quadrant or an S quadrant or an E quadrant at all. I'd like to just be in a position where I can just live off of investments, dividends, whatever, crypto yields, real estate income, whatever it is. I definitely want to be in a position where when my children are a little bit older, that I can coach sports, we can go on vacations, and we can kind of live off of the decisions that we made in the 20s and 30s. Yep. Personally, myself. And I want to get more involved with giving back. I've been tithing 10% of my income for the past couple of years to church, but I don't give any time. I don't volunteer. I'm not a part of any groups. A young son at home, business owner. I don't want to make that excuse because the church always says don't make an excuse, but it is a little bit tough from a timing perspective right now. I'd like to have more time to do things like that, to get involved. And I also want to eventually do local politics, because I think the politics on the national level, it's very much you have to grease a bunch of wheels and shake a bunch of hands and kiss cheeks, and it's just not necessarily the best. But I think local politics, county commissioner, mayor, things like that, you can make a big impact on the local level and make sure that the types of values that you want are being lived throughout. So I've always thought about maybe getting into politics someday on a local level. Maybe I give my brother a call because he's got that politics background. Yeah. Which is why, and in today's world, you just got to air everything out. So if you have skeletons in your closet, you just got to put it out there, because everybody knows everything about everybody, unless it's the Epstein files and you don't know shit. They swept that under the rug.
Yeah, even Diddy got off with a slap apparently. But it's right. What you're saying is right. A lot of people are taught to organize their life in the wrong manner and chase after what it is they want to be, which is fine. If you're very passionate about being a veterinarian or a nurse or something, then I'm very happy for you. That's amazing. Me personally, I found something, when I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, in my very early 20s, as soon as I came out of college, when I heard this from a mentor, and they had said this really well. They said, imagine your funeral, the day that you died, right? And imagine who's going to be there for you. You know, what kind of people will be there? How many people will be there? And what will they say about you? What kind of life have you lived, or what did you do? And I kind of thought about that. And when I thought about that, I was like, hey, if I just, did this and made a lot of money, but, or certain things, I'm like, that's cool. But like, I want to be known for someone that made an impact in other people's lives, or people would say, hey, our family's life is better, or our life is better because I met Hersh, or because I met this person. And I'm not saying that would give me a high because I would have been dead, or quote unquote, but that would have left some kind of impact. And yes, this galaxy or legacy or whatever it would be a grain of sand, like people will forget it 100 years later.
Sure.
But I would have felt like I was accomplished. So at that time, in my early 20s, I created a goal, which was I will help over 100 million people live a better life. I created an end goal before the day I die. That's my life goal in a sense, right? I didn't know that it was going to be through running a solar business. I didn't know it was going to be through trading or crypto or Forex education. I didn't know that it was going to be through insurance. I just knew that I wanted that goal. Once I had that goal in writing, this is the most wonderful thing, just like you said, from Think and Grow Rich. Once you have that big goal or whatever direction you go in writing, everything else falls in place. We had no freaking idea on how to run a solar business because we never did that before in our life, but we figured it the freak out. We figured it out step by step by stepping in shit, whatever. I had no idea how to scale and run an insurance business, but I started with those 6 months in the last episode, like I said, making no money, and was able to scale an agency of 8 to 10 reps, all making 6 figures plus from learning how to do insurance, but not knowing. So I think most people feel as if, and this happens with a lot of OCD type of people, where they feel as if they need to know everything and how to do everything and how everything is going to happen and be, when the truth is you're not always going to know how things work. You're going to figure it out. There's things that you've never done, answers that you've never had that will come to you as long as you know the direction you're trying to go in. So, my strongest suggestion in this planning a vision for your life phase or this podcast, my biggest takeaway for you guys would be this, and guys and gals would be, find out the way that you want to live. Have that discussion with your wife or your husband, your significant other. Find out the way you both want to live. And then if you don't know exactly what it is you want to do, find out the way you want to live, and then find out, what you want your life goal to be in a way, shape, or form, or how it is, and whether it's to be a sovereign individual as well and not be stuck by any government or law or location. Find those things out, and then remember that that's in the back of my head. If this gentleman walks up to me and says, hey, I have a business opportunity, I'm looking for a partner, I need to explore it because life is handing me somebody that could be bringing me into that direction over here. And it's right sitting in front of me, and I know what direction I'm trying to go. Now, if I speak to this individual and it doesn't align with my values, it doesn't align with the direction I'm trying to go, it doesn't align with what I want to accomplish, then I will turn that down respectfully, and I'll continue to walk, and I'll come across another person.
You got a framework of what you want.
Exactly.
Kind of like a guide point.
Exactly. So that's what I would say personally is get those things down. And it will really help you go in the direction, because I had no idea any of the businesses that we run today that if you asked me this when I came out of college, that Hersh, you're going to be doing this, I wish there's no freaking way I'd be in a door-to-door business. There's no Indian guy like me with a turban and a door-to-door business. Today we run a top 10 solar sales organization in the country. And it's something I would have never thought we'd be able to accomplish or do. And that's something we do on a day-to-day basis, but it's having that framework in that direction, and the rest falls in place.
Yep. And if you don't know where to go, then you can sit in quiet solitude, go out into nature, don't bring your phone. If you believe in God, which hopefully you do, some sort of higher power, pray or meditate if you're more spiritual, and you'll probably get an idea of what it is that you want. And also, like, if something gets you excited when you're doing it, like if you get excited with creating content, you get excited with
posting stuff online, you get excited with cooking, you get excited with what gets you excited. If you get excited with something and you feel good about something, it probably means you're meant to do it in some way, shape, or form. So chase your passions, because things are being replaced by artificial intelligence, a lot of mundane tasks, creating and thinking and putting your own personal stamp on stuff. That's something that AI can't do. Is they're not you, they're not me, they're not Hersh, they're not anyone. They're going to do things very black and white, but you have your own creative mind that can come up with your own personal imprint on stuff. So if you're not sure what you want to do, take some quiet time, think about it, and then write it down. Write out a mission, a vision of what you want. It's not corny to do that. It's corny to just get in a boat and not know where you're going. So that's episode 11.